Basket weaving is almost as old as the history of man. Remnants of baskets have been found in the Egyptian pyramids, and traces of baskets were often found inside fragments of ancient pottery. Baskets have been used as containers for everything imaginable, long before the invention of Tupperware. Modern-day basket makers use exciting materials for weaving, from plastics, papers, wire, and even recycled materials like strips from old jeans or t-shirts, grocery bags, or wrapping paper. As long as you start with a sturdy framework, many materials can be interwoven with traditional materials, such as flat and round reeds. Natural reeds need to be soaked in water in order for them to become flexible. I've cut 5 12-inch long spokes out of flat reed to begin my basket. They've been soaking in water, so they're very flexible. After marking the center, I secured them. I just pushed a grip pin right through the middle. One of the spokes needs to be split in half so that we have an odd number of spokes for a basket. Scissors will split that spoke very easily because it's very flexible. So at this point, I'm going to pull these out so that they look like the spokes on a wagon wheel. And I'm going to begin my weaving by twining. Now, this is hemp cord. I'm going to start by just tying it onto a spoke. And we'll start by weaving just under and over, alternating each spoke. The term twining comes from the practice of using twine to fill these small openings at the center of the basket base. And this just helps to make it extra sturdy. I'm just going over and under. You're going to want to push these in nice and tightly as you can. Even though right now it looks a little strange with that spoke being cut in half, it won't. By the time the basket is done, you're not going to notice that at all. You want to do 2 to 3, 3 to 4 rows of this twining. And you don't have to use twine. You can use, this is suede lace that was used instead of the twine. You could use hemp cord, yarn, any other smaller material. So as soon as you get to the point where you feel like these are all going to stay in place, remove this grip pin. And pull that right out. And after the twining, I have switched to the round reed. Now this has also been soaking. And to start the round reed, we're just going to push it in under a row of the twine to secure it and do the exact same thing. We're just going to go over, under, and over and under. As you're working on your basket, don't allow the reeds to dry out too much. You'll notice a change in color. It will lighten up. It's a great idea to just soak it briefly once in a while as you're working. And once you've done a few rows of the round reed, you can start adding recycled materials. You could use iridescent film. This just comes on a roll, and we've just used it to twist it up and use it in baskets. Strips of paper, plastic grocery bags. Recycled materials and round reed then can be alternated to create the body of the basket. Lastly, we need to finish the basket by creating the rim. All I've done here is to cut pieces of the soaked flat reed that are just long enough to overlap the circumference of the basket by about 1 inch. You want to use 2 to 3 of these just so that you get a nice sturdy rim. You could use a bundle of round reeds also for this. So I've placed one in front of and one behind of each spoke and secured them with a binder clip. You could also use a clothespin to keep them in place. So then we're just going to sew this rim on. You could use twine, you could use waxed linen cord with a needle, but basically it's just over, under. And if you look at some of these baskets here, we've added beads for interest as we were sewing the rim together. Over, under. And it's all very flexible because it's nice and soaked. Now when I come to a spoke, I'm just going to go right behind it and pull this tight. Once the whole rim is sewn, you can just trim off the spokes that I've left up a little bit higher here, and you'll create your finished rim. You can view these instructions, a materials list, and teaching standards at dickblick.com. Keyword search saucer basket.